Hey, and welcome to Jono's Late Chat Show, where we talk about anything, universe, life, business, love, games, relationship, business. And today I have a very special guest with me, Rich Morley. Welcome.
Hello. All right, Jono. All right, people of the internet.
It's great to have you here, Rich.
Well, thanks. It's good to be here.
And for those that don't know Rich, how would you like to be introduced? How would you introduce yourself?
That's tricky, really. I come under lots of handles. Happy idiot, maybe. I'm someone who teaches Tai Chi, and from that I've come on to do lots of different things based around all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Rich Morley, Tai Chi player.
As from my understanding, you also have been given a different tagline as well, right? By the BBC.
Oh, yeah. BBC called me a Tai Chi expert. And some other people do. Unfortunately, people keep thinking I'm a master. I'm not. I'm very good, but I'm not a master.
Well, we'll call ourselves student of life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was lucky enough to be featured by the BBC in their 7 news items in photographs from around the world. One photograph of me. So I was up against a baby elephant in a zoo in Indonesia. And that guy from the Twilight series, his waxwork was on the other side of me. That was a groundbreaking photo for the day. And in the middle was me doing some Tai Chi.
Interesting. Is that photo still on BBC website?
Yes. It's still up there. So for a while, for about 5 or 6 years, if you type Tai Chi expert into images, mine was the #1 image that came up, which is pretty weird.
I'm going to see if I can pull this up.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the back of that, for about 6 weeks, I had my own timeline on life.com, Life magazine's website, wedged in between Fidel Castro and JFK.
Let's see. Oh, is this it? Oh.
Oh, it's exciting.
I don't know if this is the right one.
Right, I'm standing near some sculptures. I'm in the sculpture park.
Oh, there we are. Here we are.
Single way.
I've got it. Chill, everyone.
Hey,
chill. Everyone, calm down.
You did it.
I've got it. Right, let me find it. Let me try and pull this up now and see how this works.
All right.
Let's see if I could share this screen. Providing I share the right screen.
Yes. Don't share any embarrassing screens.
Yeah, as long as I don't show the ones where I have like 100 tabs, that'd be embarrassing.
Oh,
here we are.
Hey, that's not me.
Wow, this is what you're competing against, right? So
yeah,
the elephants.
Yeah, little baby elephant. That's pretty cute.
A very scary Japanese doll.
That is worrisome. A hat.
A model presents a creation by Indian designer. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, here we are. Here's the next one. Ta-da!
Hey, ta-da! It's me.
Tai Chi expert Richard Morley practices next to sculptures by Taiwanese artist Ju Ming at Yorkshire Sculpture Park in Wakefield, England.
Wow. Yes. There you go. Unfortunately, if you look at that picture there for a second, Jono, Ju Ming supposedly does Tai Chi sculptures, but that looks like sumo to me. It doesn't look like Tai Chi at all. I've never seen anything like that, in fact. I look like I'm doing Tai Chi. The sculpture does not. The funny thing about that picture is I look really calm and I'm actually doing a Tai Chi form, so I'm moving. So it's actually a picture of me while I'm moving. But like 10 minutes before that, I just had to ride 9 miles on a really hot day on a mountain bike up lots of hills to the countryside. Get changed in a toilet cubicle, wipe all the sweat down, brush my hair, run out, and start doing a press shoot.
Nice.
Yeah, I look pretty calm to say I've just done that. That's the power of Tai Chi.
What else have you got next to it? You've got the horse.
We've got a nice horsey. Looks pretty fast.
Oh, is this the Twilight guy you're talking about?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson, the new Batman.
So Robert Pattinson, the new Batman. Here we are.
Yeah.
Was there anything else? Was that it? No, back to
Yeah,
elephant.
back to the elephant. Yeah, 7
Okay.
or whatever it is.
Well,
there
we are. Rich Morley, everyone. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Featured by the BBC as the Tai
That's
Chi
right.
expert.
Yes. Yeah, I was on Sky News last week. We put that very image up on Sky News apparently for some reason.
Oh wow! There we are.
Someone rang me up. Someone rang me up who'd seen it in London. And said, "You're on Sky News." I'm like, "What?" Yeah, so I do Tai Chi. I took up Tai Chi because I was ill for 15 years with fibromyalgia. So I got it when I was 17, so it makes you really quite ill. I mean, people generally get in middle age, and it's really quite a horrible illness. There's lots of side effects.
Can you talk more about fibromyalgia, because that seems to be.
Sure.
I have a few friends that also suffer from it, and they say they've tried everything, as you do.
Yeah.
And they just say it's not something that's curable and whatnot. But I know you suffered the same thing, and you've.
Oh, I certainly did. Yeah.
And you overcame it, and here you are now, right?
That's right. So fibromyalgia, for people who don't really know, it is it's an illness with lots of angles to it. It's a fatigue syndrome, somewhat like ME, so you're exhausted all the time. But it also has many other side effects, like it has pain that moves around and affects the muscles, ligaments, and tendons. And it can be constantly moving around. You could have it in your neck and in your hands, and then all of a sudden it's somewhere else hurting just as badly. And it's incredibly painful. Then your body stiffens up. You can't move sometimes. You have to drop stuff. My legs would collapse under me. You have incredibly bad headaches. You never get any deep restorative sleep. So your body can't fix itself. It's got lots and lots of side effects. So I came down with it when I was 17, and it took them 6 years to diagnose me, which was pretty bad news. And when they did, they couldn't really do anything apart from prescribe like heavy doses of painkillers and antidepressants, which helped the painkillers to work more. So they said, but I gave those up after about a week. So I found myself singing whilst in a sandwich shop. I think I scared the people in the queue. I'm like, well, this isn't very good. So I set out to try and find something to fix myself. But in the intervening period, my life got worse. So like when I got to university, my health was really deteriorating. So I had to do my exams a year after everyone else. I had to have a scribe to actually write for me because my hands weren't working too well at the time. And I just spiraled down and down, tried everything, and just about giving up when I staggered into a Tai Chi class. And I was lucky to meet some very good high-level Tai Chi teachers. Because most people in the West just think Tai Chi is generally for old people and moving around slowly. But in China, Tai Chi was the highest level of martial art. And back in the day, it used to be taught to the Yellow Banner Squadron who guarded the imperial palace and the royal family and taught them to the Manchu princes. And all the members of a Yang family, whose style I'm in the lineage of, they were known as Yang the Invincible because no one could beat them. They beat everybody. So people paid them a lot of money for the services. What we've got in the West now is after China fell and it all changed and the dynasties went, then the masters lived a lot longer than everyone else. So people started coming to them for the Tai Chi training so they could live longer and have much better lives because people had very low life expectancy back then. So people were paying a lot for health. And over the years, it's filtered into the West and people see it as sort of good for your health, but just as a gentle calisthenics sort of thing. Whereas really, it took me from being worried I was going to end up in a wheelchair to being an international level martial artist. So it certainly worked for me. I put a lot of work in, of course, because I had no other choice. You know, I was medically retired from a job, so I couldn't work anymore, and if I hadn't found it, I've no idea where I would have been. But it's certainly given me my life back. And I was like the clumsiest person ever when I was a kid, right all the way through, and I never had any control over my body. And now I can make people fly through the air with pressing on one finger, and lots of really crazy ass stuff you only see in the kung fu movies.
Yeah, I've always been fascinated with the way Qigong and Tai Chi work. Would you? Is there a big difference between Tai Chi and Qigong, or is it the same thing? I haven't really studied it myself.
Okay, right. So Qigong and Tai Chi have some similarities in that you will build up a resource of Chi, or let's call it vital energy or something. The Indians would call it prana, Japanese Ki, but it's all the same sort of reference. Some form of energy that runs the body, that's a collateral part of it. And the way that it's looked at is when you're born, you're given a certain amount of Chi from your parents and from the universe, the world, or whatever. And that's prenatal Chi. Once you're born, you get postnatal Chi, which you need to get the energy from the oxygen around you and from good foods and water, sunlight, etc., etc. And as we get older, that starts to deplete, and you'll notice people's life force dwindles and stuff. So the Taoists worked out ways, because they were all about living longer and the best possible lives, to promote better quality of life for longer, so you didn't age like other people, you didn't get sick like other people, and you had all these health benefits from it. So Qigong has got thousands of years of history. You can date it back as far as at least 2,000 years, because they excavated a wall which had carbon dated some stuff under the wall, and it was 2,000 years old in Beijing, and it had some of the 8 strands of brocade, one of the oldest Qigong exercises, drawn on it. So they were like, oh, it is quite old, So Qigong practices will boost your energy levels, give you health. There's different types of Qigong. There's medical Qigong for fixing certain ailments and stuff. There's energetic Qigongs to give you more energy, more power and vitality. So there's different, there's thousands of Qigongs, really, quite frankly. Some better than others. Now, these arts are all internal arts. So if someone doesn't tell you what the internals are and what work you're doing inside to create the more energy, to build up the reserves, then you're just going to get some benefits and feel a bit better. But really, they can supercharge your life, So Qigong are energetic exercises following various principles and breathing methods, visualization and body principle. And Tai Chi has got all of that, but it's elite level martial arts as well. So the Chi that people would build up and flows around your meridians and stuff, we build that in Tai Chi, but we also build the different types of energy, the stuff that sends people out. So people get confused between thinking you can use Chi that flows through the meridians of the body and channels with the stuff that knocks people out. And they're two separate things. So Tai Chi will give you all those benefits and all the martial stuff. And if you do it right, it makes you a better, happier person. One of my friend's teachers, he said that Tai Chi is finding the missing handbook for the human body, so we can work at a higher level.
Interesting.
Yes. Go on. So the thing about Tai Chi is really interesting is everyone thinks it's thousands of years old, but the art that's actually Tai Chi, Yang style Tai Chi, they only rocked up in Beijing in the mid 1800s, and it only became to be called Tai Chi then. Before that, it was called things like spirit boxing. You look like the spirits of your ancestors were attacking you, because we would touch you very briefly and you would fly 20 feet away and you couldn't get back up, and all of the other stuff, So the history of internal martial arts go further back, but actually Tai Chi as an art is very modern. But as I say, real Tai Chi gives you so much. I've been fortunate studying with my teachers to get a look at authentic Tai Chi. And through being able to meet friends around the world through the power of the internet, I've been introduced to some very high level people, and I've been able to deepen my practices over time. So,
what was the lineage that you fall under then?
I beg your pardon?
What lineage did you fall under for your
Um,
Qigong?
I, well, the Qigong I learned from my Tai Chi instructors. It's always been in Yang style. I have studied a little Wu Hao style, a little Wu style, a little Chen style, and some other types of internal arts, but it's all been Yang style. Over the past, like, some years ago, I was lucky enough to meet a guy called Mark Corcoran, who's a really sound guy and a great Tai Chi instructor. And the thing about high level stuff is it's always been kept very secret. And a lot of people have been written out of history, and we've missed a lot of the skills out. And he was had been studying for years, but was fortunate enough to meet a guy. Let's say the founder of Yang style Tai Chi, Yang Lu Chan, appeared in Beijing in 1850. His middle son adopted a kid to fight for the family, so he'd be the gatekeeper, so no one could get past him. My friend studied with this guy's son, so we've been exposed to the real Yang style Tai Chi, which was only kept within the family. We only taught so much out of it. So real Tai Chi, so the Yang lineage I'm in now, Chan Jiaolin, I've not been officially taken as a disciple or anything else, but I've been taught by my friend. And I've been lucky enough to study with his teacher as well. His second teacher is a grandson of Chan Jiaolin, so it's the most authentic lineage I could possibly get into in the world, which is quite crazy from going someone who just wanted to get well.
Yeah, for someone who just wanted it just to get well for yourself to now learning from one of the highest lineages or best lineage to learn from.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. It's quite amazing. So I set out, once I fixed myself, to try and share with as many people as I could my art, to help as many people, you know. So I've been fortunate to do various things since then to help people to fix their health and go on to a happier life.
And I understand that you taught less people in NHS as well.
Yeah, I did a year-long study for the NHS in conjunction with Huddersfield University.
Was there a reason why they decided to take it out or not continue with it?
Well, what we were doing was a feasibility study. So it's the first study you would do in that sort of situation. So it was a year-long study running 12 groups for 12 weeks. People would come to me and self-study at home, and they'd come for an hour twice a week. And a control group would just do the NHS balance training and the other things. So they were working against the control, and we ran it for a year. And then when it was assessed, we'd done twice as well as them. Because people fall, most people have had a stroke fall within the first 6 months, and that's very deleterious to their health. But there are millions, it costs billions for the NHS, just looking after people who've had falls. So I was supposed to reduce incidence of falls, make the balance much. Tai Chi gives you a fantastic balance, and improve the mood. And when I got there, I could only do what I'd outlined I would do, but I changed it to the best I could do to give them better motor control, so they could actually control and get their lives back, which actually did. Several people thanked me for giving their lives back, which is so nice. You know, to see the people in the state they were in. Ours was the first study in the world to take people on who'd only just had strokes. Any tests in the past have been on for people who've been 6 months to 3 years in. So it took us 3 years just to get a feasibility study going. And that was really hard work to get that going with the NHS. Although it's passed all of that sort of thing, it has to go through lots of processes. And to get the next step of it would probably take another 4 years or something, you know. I was foolish enough to think it would be like, oh, we had a great result. It's been peer-reviewed. It's in the periodicals and journals. Let's move on and help more people. But it moves so slowly, you know. But we had great results when we ran it. And it was so good to be able to help people who are in such dire situations often, you know. All of a sudden, I'd lost motor control. You know, I had a lady who couldn't feel her leg from the thigh down, so she daren't go outside. And all she wanted to do was go out into a garden. So I managed to teach people how to walk so they don't build momentum up and they're more aware and in more control of their balance, so they don't come out of a specific base. So it's based along some of the Tai Chi training and some other training from some other arts I had, my protocols. but it make people incredibly stable, so they have the confidence to actually go about in the world without fearing we're going to fall and being overwhelmed by too much information, which is another problem that I had, And we got one woman who, so a woman who couldn't feel her legs, she got to go out in a garden and she thanked me for giving her life back. And I was like, it never happened. I'm like, wow, it's so good to be able to help people like that. And then another lady, she was a seamstress, and because she couldn't sew anymore, she was totally bereft. But after a few weeks of training, I think about 5 weeks, she came in and said, I did some sewing today. It was like a 6-year-old child, but I'd sewed. And she went on from there. And once we'd finished, she went on and took up a Tai Chi class herself and started studying. She was so infused by it. It's really nice.
I'm just amazed that the NHS didn't continue with it.
Think how I feel. You know what I mean? And then it was so weird. I approached the Stroke Association, and the Stroke Association in Wakefield had no idea I'd run the study. I just thought that everyone had been talking to them about that. So then I was like, can I offer this balanced training to the Stroke Association so you can train people so we don't fall over, at least to get the balance back. If it, even on the lowest level, will improve. And I jumped through hoops for ages with that and got nowhere. It's really surprised me that people aren't willing to jump on board with stuff that can rapidly change people's lives for the better after something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone's now talking about mental health, and that's important.
Yeah.
You're talking about like giving people's lives back through Qigong and Tai Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they not open to that? I mean, there's so many.
Again, they're not into it. Although it's got thousands of years of testing, it's untested stuff to them. Mine was classed as untested medical research at one point. Because what was it? Yeah, that woman I was on about, who was a seamstress, she was really so excited by it all. The physio had to come around every couple of days, and he's like, wow, there's a big improvement since the last time I saw you. Why is that? And she said, well, it's because I've been doing this. And she showed him the workbook she had and the DVD she had. And he went, wow, I never thought of any of that. Can I borrow these materials? And then he took them and tried to tax it all. And we had to get the university legal department to get in touch with him and get it all back. Because it said it's untested medical research.
Untested medical research.
It was really weird. Go on, sorry. I was
going to say, how did medical acupuncture get through then? That must be thousands of years on.
It's so it's so weird. So whilst I was sitting around, because that guy was trying to steal my stuff, and I was waiting to talk to university, and because I've published a couple of books, I thought, I'll see if there's anything else of mine out there while I was sitting around. And so I did type some stuff in, and I found a picture of one of my books on YouTube with some rave music in the background. And then a link after about 30 seconds to a completely different Tai Chi book called Butterfly Tai Chi, but they were using my book to got people in. And then there was another one which some sports PDF company was giving away an electronic copy of one of them as a welcome to I couldn't believe it. How does this happen? I never thought anyone would steal my stuff. It's hilarious.
That's when you know you made it.
Oh yeah.
when people start using your material as their own, that's when you know you made it.
Yeah. While we're still talking about Tai Chi, though, it's so great for all sorts of things. Apart from giving you lots of energy, and you know what I mean, it changes your life. You feel, it just slows the aging stuff down. You've got more energy, you feel fantastic. But it's incredibly great for people who suffer stress problems. It's great for people who've had heart attacks. It helps stop a lot of the symptoms of arthritis. There's millions and millions of bits of research now. It's a really fantastic practice for you. You don't even have to be able to do the crazy ass stuff I can do, just to get real benefits. So I highly recommend it to everyone who's watching.
It's definitely something I need to include in my routine.
Mm-hmm. Yes, some parts of it, that program Kick-Ass Dad I do, it's to help dads who want to become better. So their kids, for older dads, because I've benefited massively when I became a dad. It helped me to be the best father I possibly could, which is what I really set out to do. Because my son would have been highly embarrassed if he had been clumsy, collapsy Rich, trying to kick a ball in the opposite direction to the one he's in and stuff. But yeah, that takes elements from all my internal trainings, from the other arts I do, and from Qigong and other internal arts and meditation and various other things I've studied over the years to give a complete package to help people, but they don't have to go through all the terrible pain I went through to get through to the higher levels of martial arts. So,
well, yeah,
even
a lot of the work gets diluted, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, certainly. I couldn't believe I even got to any sort of level whatsoever. Well,
you've been dubbed, so people are copying or stealing your work as their own.
Yeah. But you can't beat it, really. It makes you feel fantastic on the inside. Eventually you can really feel the energy, and it's not quite an abstract thing. And you can demonstrate to other people with your crazy ass skills, And then kicks and punches bounce off you, which is quite ridiculous as well. We have a thing called, it starts with iron robe, which means it means stuff bounce off the body. Iron shirt, and that's the body, so stuff bounces off you. Or you can absorb it and hit people with it. And then the entire body. So it's the same thing. So I had a guy who was one of my private students, who was a martial artist, who did lots of other stuff and won lots of competitions. He said, "Look, Rich, I know I can't beat you in any other way," he said, "but in competitions, I had really good results by like this kick I used to do into people's leg and take the leg out and stuff." I'm like, "Give it a whirl if you want, Adam." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he had to stop after about the fifth or sixth kicks. It was hurting him too much. Just let him kick me in the thigh repeatedly, and it hurt him. It's really quite, the higher level stuff. A lot of people think it's fake because you see it and you have no reference for it, because you go like, "Well, that bloke's kidding. That bloke can't be hitting him as hard as he possibly can. He can't be trying." But then you feel it. It's like Arthur C. Clarke said, any sufficiently advanced technology will seem like magic. And that's what this stuff is, just high level technology.
It's a shame that not many people use it or acknowledge it, I suppose, in this day and age.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. That's why I set out to try and help these people and show people what's possible, I mean, I'm 51 now, and I feel like better than I did when I was 25.
Sorry. I was going to say you look about 40.
Yeah, it's the power of internal kung fu.
I was thinking you're like late 30s. Like
I was 51 in May.
No
so
way.
I'm living proof, mate. It really does work, doesn't it?
It's like, okay, I better start learning Qigong and Tai Chi.
Yeah. I'll send you some videos. Don't worry about it. I've got something for everyone.
Hey, audience, if there's any questions about Qigong and Tai Chi, ask right now, because we have Rich here, and he's happy to answer.
I'm talking lots.
And he's talking a lot, and he's got a lot to share and offer. I mean, I
certainly have. I certainly have. I was on UK Health Radio last year. My mate Dave James had me on his show, and he's like a podiatrist, and it's mainly his show's all about foot health. But because Tai Chi works the entire body and has certain special methodologies for the feet, I went on and talked about feet for half an hour. But we talked about all sorts of things, really.
Oh, how come you don't talk about this stuff? That you've been interviewed by all sorts of different radio shows.
Yes. Yeah, I've done some mysterious things.
You keep it so hidden. I was just like, Rich, really?
I've always been shy and retiring, honestly.
If it was any of those internet gurus, they'd just plaster it all over their website and be like, featured on.
I'll do a little bit more of it, perhaps.
I've got featured on BBC, featured on radio.
As seen on. It was Rich Morley.
Yeah, as featured on
Possibly
images
so,
used
possibly
on.
so. Yeah. I've taught some interesting people. I used to teach the High Sheriff of West Yorkshire, who's the Queen's legal representative in Yorkshire. So she speaks for the Queen in all legal matters. That's quite a high position. That was pretty weird. We
Wow.
became very pally with it, really. Yeah.
Endorsed by the Queen.
Well, that'd be another step up.
That'd go somewhere. That would
It
be good.
really would, wouldn't it? By royal approval, Rich Morley, stamping.
Why not?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So, have you seen any of my silly videos?
I've seen some of your silly videos, but I don't know how real or fake they are because you guys keep laughing and making jokes about it afterwards.
You know how it is. I tell you, it's quite funny actually, because if you watch some videos of the old Tai Chi masters when they're just throwing students around left, right, and centre, they're always laughing lots and stuff. And then I noticed I've actually often found doing it when videos will laugh at the
I
other
can't
person.
remember which one, but I'm sure I watched a YouTube video. Ah, no, this was I think it's America.
All right.
Where was it the pastor or whatever, the guy, he uses his hand and he pushes people, and then like before he even touches them, they all like fly off or something.
Yeah,
I don't know how real or fake that one is.
that's pretty fake. That generally I have to be touching people to be able to do anything to them. But if I'm touching them, or I can do it through objects and stuff. There's some interesting. I can move people through objects. Like, there's some videos I put up recently on Facebook where I'm moving somebody through a broom handle and making him fly away without moving. But I've got one video on there somewhere where I sit down in a chair and I get the only thing we had for this demonstration is I know I can move people through inanimate objects, and from some quite small or long, I can send the energy through and they will go. But I tried through a felt tip pen. It was quite a thick one. It wasn't a thin one. But I sat down in a chair. This is on my Facebook page somewhere. Sat in a chair while he stood up. I held the pen in my fingers. He held the pen in his fingers, and I made his feet leave the floor through the felt tip a few times, and then the top fell off the felt tip, so we had to give up. But it's all true. Anybody, if anybody doubts me, can come around and I can always demonstrate. Works the same on everybody.
Do you have some videos on your YouTube? Anyway,
there's a few on YouTube. There's some old ones. Rich Morley Tai Chi on YouTube. There's about 14 videos, something. There's that one where I've got a rugby player running at me while I stand on one foot, and then it comes to a dead stop. There's one where the same guy kicks me in the stomach. There's a few spontaneous applications. My skill levels come up a lot from anything that's on those videos though now. I'm making people stick to me. There's a few different things in there.
Wait, do you know which one's the rugby? Oh, there you go, rugby versus
Tai Chi version. Yeah. I think it's at full speed, and then like I slow it down so you can see it. But
let's see if we can share this on the screen. And
that'd be funny.
Let's see how well this plays.
Yeah. So he's really quite muscly and fit, and he runs at me from about 10 feet away and then comes to a dead stop in that one. I'm still standing on one leg. Observe, no trickery, running, tried to knock me over, dead stop.
Wow. I'm going to like... Well, I'd say he hasn't got a lot of speed, but he is quite built.
Oh yeah, movie player. It's just for demonstration purpose. I'm standing on one foot.
Yeah, that is.
There's a few other ones where I think there's one where I make people stick to my hand. There's another one where I put my intention out through his arms, out through his nervous system, out his back, so his power can't leave his body. So he's just like bouncing off me. There's rooting ones where I stand on one foot. There's a few where I demonstrate with a burly person that doesn't do anything. Yeah, there you go. Watch. His power can't leave his body now. If we can get this one up. It all seems spacious, but watch.
Whoa, he's pushing there.
Oh, yeah. It's freezing up a bit, is it?
No. Yes. I think it's just on slow-mo, right?
Look, his arms hurt. You see his arms hurt him because he's pushing so hard. Watch, I think, look, there we go.
He's pushing.
You see how he bounces forwards
Wow.
there, trying his best. Yeah. There's another where I'm standing on one foot while he tries to push as well, but I'm doing different things. In this one, I'm using my intention to stop his power leaving his body. In another one, I'm rooting where I'm standing on one foot. Try and find another one where I'm standing on one foot if you want, but you can see how hard he's trying there. And
foot trapping? Is this the one?
No. Try rooting. Is there one with rooting? There you go. That one.
Rooting.
I think we just went past it. I think. Is it right on the right? No, one of those. Sad to see. It's very. Yeah, that was that it.
This one's rugby versus Tai Chi.
Yeah, well, it looks very tiny. I can't see what there are. What's that one?
Rich
That's
Morley
my Yi. Right. If you click on the videos one, it should show you them all. Maybe. So there should be one where I'm standing on one leg. Where it says something like stable as a mountain or something like that, maybe.
Phoenix? Gold Phoenix?
No, it's a different one. Hang on. No, I can't see it. It's there somewhere. It's the same guy. It's like scroll up.
Rooting skill?
That's it. Yeah. Try that one. Let's see what we got. So these are very old. I'm much more skillful now.
4 years ago. You must have upgraded your skills by now, right?
Oh, yes. I'm not really showing much in these videos. It was just some bits and pieces I'm knocking about. So, here, watch. I stand on one foot. He pushes as hard as he can.
No way.
We give him another go. I keep laughing. It's only trouble. You see, I'm laughing. I can't stop myself. Watch. Look, he's really trying his best. I'm laughing. He goes
How do you do that?
That one's rooting. So when I'm putting my intention through him, first one where his power can't leave his body, there I'm sending his power through my arms, down through my body, out through my legs into the floor. So it feels like you're pushing subjectively against a wall when you push me.
So you're rooting your energy towards him.
No, I'm sending all of his power through my body. Imagine my body's a hose pipe. I can send my power through it like as a conduit for power, yeah? And I can send his power. You normally would get stuck within you. It get pushed against you. It's force against force. There, I send it through me. My body's clear, if you imagine, so the power can travel to the floor so it doesn't impact on my body. That's Tai Chi rooting. You don't want to get stuck to the floor, but it's for demonstration purposes. You can see how he can't do anything, can he? But it's different things. The first one, as I say, I put my power through. I think there's a couple where I make people stick to my hand.
Application of gold?
How about Tai Chi sticking? Rich Morley Tai Chi sticking.
Rich
Go
Morley,
down one.
Tai Chi sticking. Oh, this one.
Yeah. Now I do it with someone else doing the same thing. You can see my hands spread open, so I'm not actually using my fingers to grab him. He's making a fist and wanting to punch towards me. See, you have to set these things up so people can see the things at work. Otherwise, you can't see what the hell's going on. So here I've asked someone to push towards me with his fist. I have my hand on the outside of his arm, and he can't push towards me because he's stuck to my hand. So he's doing that funny thing with his feet. You see? and I'm laughing again, is stuck to me. In Tai Chi, we make people stick to us. People think we stick to them. We make the opponent stick to us so we can take control of them and do whatever we want to them. Tai Chi is a very different way of looking at martial arts. Of course, I'd stick, control, and then hit him if I was fighting, but here I'm just demonstrating something. And I think I'd do another one with somebody completely different in exactly the same place, doing exactly the same thing on one of these videos to prove it's the same thing. You can see my hands open, he's stuck to here.
This one.
Yeah. Again, same thing. Well, that one doesn't even want to play. So is that crazy? No, it should be the same thing though. In Tai Chi, we make people. We create various energies which you don't see real until you do things to people that you can make them stick to you. If you can make somebody's nervous system, we mess people's nervous systems up so that it doesn't work right. Look, it's stuck to me. Watch, I've asked him to do the same thing. See my hands open. I've asked him to make a fist and punch towards me. You see?
He's turning bright red.
There we go. There's some Rich Morley Tai Chi.
That is incredible.
Thank you. Incredible. Thanks. If anybody doesn't believe me, as I say, my doors are open. Anyone wants to come and chat, I'll show you. Only in a friendly manner, though. Only in a friendly manner. We don't do those challenge matches. I'm not in the octagon.
Yeah, everyone got any other questions about Tai Chi or Qigong or breathing? In fact, that's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
This is a funny one because I was talking to another podcast guest I was interviewing the other day, and he was talking about in his routine or structure, he takes time out for meditation or breathing.
Yeah, very important.
And I was just like, isn't it a funny world right now that we have to go back to learn how to breathe properly? Like,
so true.
What has the world done to us that we have to learn how to breathe again? Back in our parents' times, right? Or our grandparents, they didn't think about learning how to breathe properly.
No. Yep, they really did. But I think what we've had is a chain of events for many centuries where people model the people who can't breathe, and no one can breathe. We're born being able to breathe, and then we lose it. It's very odd.
But we have to know, like the amount of stress and intensity that we go through. We have to learn how to breathe again because we get so many, often cases of anxiety, depression.
Yeah, totally. I was only going
ADHD and all sorts, right?
Yeah. All of that sort of thing. I mean, there's learning to breathe again in a more natural way of breathing, but also there are lots of interesting breathing practices that people have worked out over the years. Some of the stuff I've learned, some of the stuff's for calmness, and some of the stuff's for meditation, and some of the stuff's for health, and some of the stuff's for martial power. And they're all very, very different things. But so people have worked out ways to make you better through different breathing practices, certainly. But I feel anybody can benefit from simply breathing how we did when we were born. Natural diaphragmatic breath, where the belly moves, the diaphragm moves up and down, that opens and closes the lungs. We take in more oxygen. We're more relaxed and calm because we're more centered. We're not breathing up here. As we breathe up into our chest, as it says in China, then the chi comes up, rises up in your chest as you feel anxious. You can feel a smoldering sort of thing here. But also, if we're up here, we're uptight, we're tense, we're stressed. We can't breathe deeply. And if we can't breathe more deeply, then we miss out on so many benefits. When we're massaging the internal organs with the breath so we don't get stuck on each other, to massaging your bowels to organ function to correct CO2 oxygen exchange, because people don't understand that CO2 is just as important to us as is oxygen. It's important for getting rid of things like cortisol and reducing adrenaline and stuff. Many things. And there's been some really interesting findings recently about what you can do with the breath. Because we can't control autonomic practices like breathing, let's say. We can, but generally it just runs by itself. We don't have to think about it. If we had to think about it, we'd never do anything, would we? So it's all right when doing various practices, but taking control of it at various points, we can use our body to take more oxygen in, fix all of those things, but get more blood to the brain, think more clearly, have better circulation, and then we can control it to ramp up dopamine levels if we need to be engaged and forward thinking and moving. Or if we need to be calm, we can start to use the breath to create more serotonin. And then we can be more relaxed, more chill, more in the moment. So there's so many different breathing practices that are so valuable. And it's good that people are actually taking it on board. Because we all just think we breathe into constantly and go and take very, very short breaths, and it's just no good for you. You know, I've seen all sorts recently. It's like mouth breathing, for instance. Quite a few people actually are mouth breathers. I was talking to a client the other week, and she wanted some breath training for some other stuff because she has diabetes, and she wanted to see if I could show something that would lower her blood sugar levels, which has been found that if you can slow the breathing, then you can do that. But then it turned out, whilst giving her an assessment of the breathing, that she's a mouth breather, and she has asthma. Now, with the correct breathing practices, like a friend of mine who's been quite dire asthmatic all his life has been learning some breathing practices recently. And Louis seen great benefits. He's not using his inhaler in it every day now, which is quite amazing. Now, this lady come to me because she wanted help with the diabetes, but it turns out she's a mouth breather. Didn't realize that once she wasn't taking in enough proper oxygen, when she analysed the nose, she could only breathe through one nostril. So, and your nose seizes up if you mouth breathe, but it causes high blood pressure. It causes terrible gas exchange. So your blood sugar levels are off. Everything's off with it, and it can cause lots and lots of long-term health problems. And people don't realise that, just simply by the fact they're not breathing through the nose and they're breathing through the mouth. Never mind filtering all the toxins and stuff and pollutants out of the air, which your nose does, and acts like it acts like air conditioning for us as well. Whereas mouth breathing, it's just so dire. So it's interesting to see people coming to me for breath training who have one thing they need, but seeing that their breathing's off for all sorts of different reasons, you know. So it's good that I've got this bag of tricks that I can help everyone with in some way or form, which is also nice, you know.
How about Wim Hof's breathing then?
My thoughts on that, because, you know, some of them, I've been training in breath practices for 20 years now.
Because I tried Wim Hof's breathing for about a month, I would say, consistently, and I kind of fell off doing it.
Yeah,
I just couldn't keep up with doing it for more than a month afterwards.
yeah. You have to show some commitment to it, I think. But a lot of the stuff I've been taught has got, like, you know, hundreds of years of veracity behind it. Wim Hof, he's really impressive with what he's done, but he's come upon his breathing practices by accident, let's say, through his own practices and ideas. And it's good, and it's helped some people, certainly. And he's super impressive, but I feel a lot of people, as I've outlined, because they're not breathing correctly, if they start trying to pack the breath and force the breath, which is what's going on with that, you know, you're really trying to get in as much as possible. And he, as I was just saying about mouth breathing being so bad for you, he advocates that. It's like, get in as much oxygen as you can, breathing through your mouth. But you're over-oxygenating, people become dizzy and stuff. People go unconscious with it. You know, there's been about 3 or 4 people died doing it in swimming pools using his technique. That's why they start telling people not to do it in swimming pools. So, yes, it's good people jumping on board, and yes, people are getting benefits from it. But I think that for a lot of people, it's an unsuitable practice. It's something they might need to build up to with learning some, let's say, just normal diaphragmatic breathing, and maybe then moving on to something like that. So they've got a basis for. using their lungs, taking more in, but we're not forcing or doing anything. That's why in a lot of my training, we've had to be so careful with it, because the body's a delicate system. And you can do real internal damage to yourself. We're working to create specific whole body breath and lots of different types of specific breathings that you have to be very specific with, because the schools I come from understand that it's very important, but also very special. Whereas people jumping into Wim Hof and just seeing a video on the internet or doing one of them quick courses is like hyperventilating and all sorts of things going on, which is what he's doing essentially. It's forced hyperventilation and hyperoxygenation. So I've got mixed feelings on it. Plus, I think it's doing him a little crazy. If you watch him, he's not balanced.
I definitely get a set. Well, when I tried it, I definitely felt it was very intense breathing.
Yes. So if people have any anxiety and stuff like that, that sort of breathing could ramp it up and cause panic attacks and stuff as well.
Yeah, it was very intense. So and for me, I'm saying I'm generally quite healthy, and generally quite, I guess, okay in terms of health. I don't have underlying health issues or anything like that. I felt it was quite intense. So I couldn't imagine if those with trouble with anxiety and ADHD and all those kind of challenges, how they would have felt doing Wim Hof's breathing.
Yeah. That's the thing of it all, you just can't tell, and because it's unregulated. This is why if I'm teaching people, let's say I do teach someone a way of breathing that will ramp them up somewhat and make them feel more energized and more ready to do something, I also teach them a way to calm their system down, so they've got a balance there, so they're not stuck in that. And if they're starting to feel a bit jangly, which stuff that works when you're feeling stressed or tensed at any point in your life, but also works if you've gone a little too far in that direction, just to bring you around. We need balance, and that's that's unbalanced. It goes too far up that way. So yeah, especially if you're not right in some way, it could cause all sorts of things.
What would you recommend them to go through then? The natural, like you said, the general baby, how we breathed when we were babies.
Yes, essentially exactly that, Jono. Exactly that. So all we're doing really, essentially, when you were a baby, we didn't breathe with your chest. If you watch a baby, the entire body moves with the breath, but you'll see the belly moving the most. So I'll just jump up here. If you stick your belly out and pull it in, and stick it out and pull it in, if you just simply breathe in, see your attention down there. The simple way to do it, to get an idea of this, is put your hands on your chest here and gauge where you can breathe to, and then take a breath in through your nose and breathe into the space behind your hands there. You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
You got that? So you can feel how much breath that is, yeah? Yeah? All right, now take your hands and place them on your solar plexus. Just below the rib cage. Now just breathe into that space there. Take a deep breath to there. Just into that space behind the hands, your lungs to there. And again. And one more. Yep. So you should be taking a deeper breath now, yeah? Mm-hmm. You feel that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm on natural breathing. It should become natural again, where the belly naturally does this. But if we force it a little bit, well, not force it, but push the belly out a little bit and pull it back in a bit to take control of it. As we push it out, the diaphragm comes down, the lungs open, and we take more in. So now just take your hands, place them just below your belly button. Mm-hmm. You can't really breathe to there, but imagine you can. Relax your chest now. Let go of your chest and your belly muscles as much as you can. Just gently push your belly out, breathing in through your nose, breathing into that space behind your hands there, filling, and then just pull it in just gently and breathe out. And just do a few breaths deep down there. Just imagine it's just sinking down, just breathing through your nose, and goes all the way down. And breathe in and out. And how's that feeling? Feel like taking a bit more in there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So most people are breathing intercostally, are doing what you did, they're breathing to about here. The lower lobes of your lungs come down here. So we're taking a third in. If we're breathing into here and getting the chest filled a little bit, that's better. But if we're pushing it down there and pulling it in and out, diaphragm's coming up and down, but the lungs are opening more. There's more oxygen coming in. There's more oxygen and CO2 exchange. Plus, as I say, it's got all those other benefits. The massaging of the internal organs and your system's working better, because our breath's so important for many of the body systems, and it's only in the past 10 years it's starting to be realized how much so, you know. In fact, there's a lot of athletes who like still mouth breathe and stuff throughout the running or whatever, and that's being changed in quite a few places now, because people are starting to understand that you can go for longer and work at a higher level if you're using your nose to breathe, and if you're taking more oxygen and have more control over this. So it's quite something so simple and basic, but so powerful, you know.
It's something that we've like forgot how to do.
Yeah, totally. Fortunately, some people have remembered, but most people, you'll see, it's just like everybody I talk to, you know. I talked to a martial artist, a guy last year who wanted me to train him with internal kung fu. You know, he trains in martial arts and stuff. He wanted to go higher, and then he'd been at the doctor's for 3 days. And I said, well, what's going on? And he said, my blood pressure is critical. It's like I might have a heart attack at any time, and doctors can't stabilize it. And I asked him about his breathing, and we chatted. And then it turned out, even though he's a martial artist and stuff, he's a mouth breather. And I said, that's ramping your blood pressure up. It causes heart attacks. Taught him how to breathe. I just taught him the simple diaphragmatic breathing. I've taught him other things since, but I set him off on breathing better, working through his nose, how to calm it, gave him a little more direction than you've just had. But within a couple of days, his blood pressure had stabilized and dropped down to a much safer level. And he wrote a really lovely testimonial saying, I think I'd saved his life, because it was at that such dangerous level, they couldn't do anything. And I was so worried. And a simple thing like that changed the course of a guy's life.
But I'm surprised he didn't get taught how to breathe properly by his teacher.
That's what surprised me too.
Like, the teacher would notice, you know, how his students. Well,
You'd think, really, but there you go.
I remember my teacher taught me breathing was the first thing he taught us. Literally, like, because obviously we were, I don't know. Well, we were young kids. Obviously, you know, we get tired out and we'd like start. And because we run like 50 laps before we even do our warm-ups.
Yeah. Old school. Like, yes.
We're dead tired before we even start doing warm-ups. And he's like, you know, teaching us about the breathing. So I'm surprised, like, even for someone who's well-trained.
Surprised the heck out of me too. You know, breathing's a big part of all the trainings I've had since I fixed myself, you know. I said some of the more secretive breathing, the reverse breathings and stuff for martial power really add to that and help to refine the chi and the thing we call the dantian, the lower abdominal area. If you imagine it like a reservoir in internal practices, that's where we build more reserves of energy up, so we have more to use that postnatal chi. We create more and more and more of it. So as I say, you don't age like other people, you don't break like other people. Everything becomes stronger. So you create the Tai Chi beast or the Tai Chi creature, because you're changing your body internally to run on a different engine and run differently. The proof's in the pudding, because I can do it and I feel it and I can help other people do it. So it's a wonderful thing, you know. But breathing step by step all the way. I've been taught 7 different types of breathing from my teachers in the internal arts. Never mind all the other stuff I've learned over the years, you know. It's quite deep.
How long do you do Tai Chi for in the morning on Qigong?
That depends. It depends what I'm doing, really. I have the Qigong I tend to do. I have a few special Qigong, which are the secret Qigongs. So they're not sort of generally the ones that are to be found in public. So there's one of I do for 5 minutes. And another one I do for 15 minutes with 3 sets of standing for 2 minutes in between, but you could be standing for up to 20 minutes. But So that's 15 minutes to an hour, that one, depending if I wanted to do it for longer or shorter. But we've got the full syllabus is massive of Tai Chi, you know. So Tai Chi do standing meditation, which helps you develop the structure and helps you develop Sung, the active relaxation. So we create Pung, which is an energy that makes people float when they touch me. So I can make people float around. They have no roots before, but like a balloon all of a sudden. So you have the standing practice, develop the martial power. That's the real secret between internal. You go internal and develop all of this stuff. And then the Tai Chi forms, of course, all the moving about and flowing and stuff like that. And then all the other practices in between, which give you the power and the energy. So what we've got in the West is it's a reversal of how Tai Chi used to be. It has been a watering down, but it's also, so if you went to a Tai Chi class, you'd expect to come in and learn a Tai Chi form, you'd want to learn some movement straight away. But that's the highest level of stuff. Learning in China back in the day, you'd do the basics, you'd do all the exercises that change the body, you'd learn one Tai Chi posture and have to stand in it for 2 hours. And you'd repeatedly stand in it until it's perfectly in your body. Then you'd learn a transition, then maybe one more movement. And only when you could run the energies in your body to shape the postures could you start to learn the form. So it was the highest level of stuff. And all the other stuff informs that along the way. But you go to a Tai Chi class now, you expect to learn form now. So that means, unfortunately, it's called Park Tai Chi. It's you know, it's really good for people, but it won't give you the higher level martial arts skills and stuff. You need some of the other stuff. But unfortunately, a lot of the people who are standard bearers for lineages nowadays haven't really got that. So it's a shame. But like, you know, like a wedding cake you see in a shop, and it looks beautiful and it's in the window, but it's like made of card and stuff. It's beautiful on the outside and there's no substance on the inside. That's unfortunately what a lot of Tai Chi is. It looks fantastic on the outside, so flowing and beautiful and calm, but it has nothing on the inside.
That reminds me of just like yoga, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like even yoga has been, you know, watered down
Totally.
and stuff like that in terms of a lot of them don't really have much substance being taught.
No, absolutely not. So you get things like hot yoga now, which has become very popular, but one, that Bikram guy keeps being done for lots of things. He's really dodgy. And two, the genius of it was, of course, is it's people who couldn't go to a regular yoga class because they're embarrassed about how inflexible they were, going to a hot place so they became more flexible, feeling good about themselves because they're sweating, that they can get into the postures they couldn't. But it's artificial because the bodies really can't do that. It's only because they're warmed up that can do it. So you start seeing more injury and stuff over time because the body is not conditioning and changing and becoming better. And that's just one of the many, you know. Like Tai Chi, it was Rainbow Tai Chi and Lee Family Style Tai Chi. They've all been made up by various people at some time. With Rainbow Tai Chi, you have to wear rainbow socks. It's just nuts. And then you see the videos. You know, I can send people flying and stuff, but I can't send 16 people out by waving my fingers at them. Yet you'll see pictures where a guy in robes does like this, and then they run backwards and do backwards rolls and run up walls and spasm about and things because they've all bought into that. There's one type of Tai Chi out there where they say, so as I said, Tai Chi has been called Tai Chi for about 150 years maybe, because a Taoist poet saw it demonstrated the art and said it's supreme ultimate. Because Tai Chi for me is supreme ultimate boxing or martial arts. It's like yin and yang, supreme ultimate of the universe. But they say theirs is 3,000 years old. It was taught to some people in a little fishing village in China by the sons of reflected light, who were 9-foot tall beings, who came and told them it, and then they kept it secret for all these years until a taxi driver in London, a guy who became a taxi driver, met an old man in a park who taught him it. And he went and taught loads of hippies it, funnily enough, and made lots of monies. It's hilarious. But there you go.
That happens in every industry, though.
Oh, gosh, yeah, certainly.
Definitely happens in most. I asked how long you do it because I was thinking of doing it for the morning routines.
Yeah.
Instead
So,
of, I was looking at yoga, but then I was like, I'm not really a big fan of yoga.
all right. Yeah.
So I was like,
Well,
maybe I should do some Tai Chi or something instead.
yeah. There you go. Some Tai Chi or some of the body opening and loosening exercises. So, there's various different sets that open the body, free the joints up, improve the circulation, and all that sort of thing. Appears to be running out of power.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can take lots of stuff on board, but a simple Tai Chi routine, even if you learn a Tai Chi routine and you do it for, the shortest Tai Chi routine I take takes between 5 and 7 minutes. So even at a steady level, if you do that of a morning, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel more centered, more within your person, more balanced, calmer, more relaxed, energized. All of those benefits, even at a steadier level, because it has those benefits. There's that terrible joke. There's that terrible. It's not even a joke really, but somebody said, "Why is Tai Chi like bad sex?" Because no matter how bad it was, everybody feels good afterwards. And that's about it, really. Because if you do some bad Tai Chi form, you feel calm and relaxed. You get some bad sex, it goes all right-ish and stuff. But the real stuff's all good in all different directions. That's just really like anything, it's only so much good in the world of everything, the top of anything, isn't it, really?
That's a really bad analogy.
I know, it's not mine either, but somebody said it, and I'm like, yeah, it makes sense.
That's a really bad analogy.
Tell me about it. It's not mine.
The thing is, I remember when I was in Hong Kong, and I remember when we went, my grandma, who was still with us back then, she would get up about 5:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And then wake us up for 6 a.m. And make us walk down towards the main town.
Right.
And when we walk past the main town, we see a lot of elderly people / maybe one or two youngsters that they probably dragged with them into like the basketball court and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Where they're all doing Tai Chi.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so bloody early. Like, how did you even have the energy to do that?
Yeah, totally.
It's such a morning routine though for them.
Yeah. Once you get it locked in there and stuff, it just sets you up right for the day. These practices, as I say, you just feel better. You feel better inside, but the mind, as I said, the missing handbook for human body, you just feel right. It's just a great way to start your day up. I mean, the trouble with it is, it's like, say, you can do it any time of day, but if you do it in the night, like, say you did some half an hour before you go to bed, you won't be able to get sleep. You'll feel so energized. You'll be up like 4 a.m. You're going, damn. I've had that happen loads with people coming back to me going,
I already
that was great, but I couldn't sleep. Yeah, it's the stuff, but something simple of a morning, a little bit better, a little bit's better than none, as they say.
Yes, I already stay up late, so doing Tai Chi at night would not serve me that well.
Right? Oh, gosh, no. When I was fixing myself, I had to practice all the time, because I couldn't, say I'm sitting upright and I'm not touching the back of the chair now. I tried after my first class. I'd sit around most of the time, but I couldn't actually sit upright without leaning against something for more than 30 seconds without having to go, I feel that tired, And I'd practice for 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes at a time, because I had brain fog and couldn't think correctly. And I'd been so uncoordinated in sports all my life. I had to get a friend to photocopy all the pictures from a book of one of the forms I was learning. And I had them all the way around the walls of the room. So as I did the form, I could look at them as a reference. And then I went from 2 minutes to being able to do half an hour. And I went on and on. So the standing meditation and stuff, I managed to stand for 2 hours one time with doing the correct releasing cycle. It's a lot more than just standing still, I'll tell you. And I built up to that sort of thing. And eventually I was training for 7 or 8 hours a day. and then out mountain biking all the time and jumping off stuff and doing all the extreme sports because all of a sudden I could. So I got a little carried away, I must admit.
Wow,
That's how I
can. I'm gonna have to start sending all my friends that suffer from fibro towards you then.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to lots and lots of people, but I think with a lot of people with fibromyalgia is that they tend to believe because it affects them so much in so different ways and they hear from the doctors that they can't do anything for them apart from take this drug or that drug, But the drugs that they're giving them aren't very good, two of them are different. I think what it is with the medical companies, let's say if you have a license for something and it's running out, if they can find a different use for a drug, then they can keep using it for another 50 years or something without having to let people make cheap analogs of it. So with fibromyalgia, one of them's an anti-epileptic drug, I believe, one of them that they give to people. And a lot of them have got terrible side effects as well, But so people get stuck in this cycle, unfortunately, with fibromyalgia of, I hurt so much, and now I'm so depressed. And, depression's a part of it. And then you get the cluster headaches, and then you get the brain fog, and then all the stuff, So we tend to not believe it. So I'm happy to talk to anybody who's got fibromyalgia and wants some pointers of where to move in the direction of helping themselves.
Yeah, because I keep talking to them, but they keep saying that they tried everything.
Yeah. It's all it's evidently not. It didn't come to me.
That's for sure. They didn't come to you, so it's like you can't have tried everything then.
No. I thought I'd tried everything until I took up Tai Chi and went, "Ooh, hang on a minute."
There's definitely something obviously about it.
Certainly so. But if you need any pointers, you just ask. Don't you worry. I've got some stuff I can point you in the right direction. It's just the simple stuff you can integrate with any of your routines,
Absolutely. Well, it doesn't seem like anyone's got any questions to ask you, which is strange because I had lots of questions to ask you.
Well, fair enough. Probably because I've been talking for so much and heard every possible answer to every question I might be able to think of.
I very much doubt it that of 20 plus years of it.
20 solid years.
Exactly.
This is my 20th year of Tai Chi.
And wisdom in you would not be able to be drawn out in about an hour.
No freaking way, man.
I'd be a super interviewer if that was the case.
Yeah, totally. New David Frost.
I'd love to. I'll work towards it.
Yeah. Keep at it. You're doing well so far. This has been fun.
It's been good. I've been learning a lot on this. Definitely one of the. Cool. Didn't feel like I wasn't sure what was to come of it. Obviously.
Yeah.
But awesome.
Yeah.
If there's no one else asking any questions or anything else, well, actually, if they wanted to find out more information about you, where can they go?
At the moment, because my website's not up or anything, just hit me up on Facebook, hit me on Messenger, ask me any questions there. That's the best place at the moment, really. And if anybody wants to email me, you can get me at richmorleytaichi@hotmail.com. There you go. I'm available. I'm always happy to talk to anybody.
Awesome. Well, I'll make sure you're tagged anyway on my Facebook, so anyone's looking for you, they'll be able to find more about you.
All right, cool. Thanks, Jono. It's been super cool.
It's been great talking to you, Rich. I appreciate it.
Yeah, lovely. My pleasure. Wow, we went over the hour very, very easily, didn't we?
It was quick. I didn't even notice the time. I only just started looking at it. I was like, oh.
Yeah. No, it's like, wow.
But thank you. And thank you, Rich, for sharing your wisdom. Much appreciated. There's so much.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me on here, and thanks for anybody who's watched or will watch in the future. It's been lovely.
So we'll see you all on Friday night, 9:30 p.m., where we talk about love and relationships with Dilara and Iklock. So see you all then.
Bye.